and welcome back to part 8 of Death End Request, where today we're going to find out what's up with those fish corpses. Corpse here, corpse there, everywhere you look a dead corpse. A dead fish, a dead frog, a non-native species was introduced to disrupt the ecosystem, and all of the fishes were washed up on the shore, piles and piles of fish corpses. Dead frogs had flooded the roads, most of them were run over by cars or stomped on by pedestrians, leaving the roads a giant, rancid mess. Once the rot began, the flies swarmed along with the maggots, an endless cycle of waste. There were dead cows with eyes bulged out of their skull, festering with maggots, sheep with brains that were leaking from their ears. Lives come, lives go. They return, they disappear. Everything is pointless. Nothing is for a reason. Corpse, 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 corpse. Death, 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 death. I'm going to die. Death, 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 death. A beautiful death, a pardon by rot. Time stops and the body is frayed. The sweet taste of death, the corrosive power of beauty. Rot, melts, flay and release. I am the god of death. Not the nicest poem I've ever read, but oh well. Oh, it was all a dream. Or was I dreaming or not? I can't remember. Why do I feel so gloom? Maybe it's because I spent all night doing research on images of dead fish and frogs. I remember Al finding a dead frog and a dead fish inside the World's Odyssey map. These are all keys to solving the mystery of whatever's happening inside of that game. The hints were in the truth fragments, but despite my best efforts I couldn't find any more information. Unlike the previous instances where I had a photo and address or key words, this particular cryptid was too vague to search on its own. I was reaching the end of my rope, but I knew that Tokyo had also begun showing signs of fatigue. Good morning. Good morning. Where's Mudakata? Beats me. By the time I woke up, he was gone. Hey, Arada, there's something here. Oh, it seems like to be a message. Dear Arada and Sumika, welcome to Summer Life. You're free to use it as its splendiferous rooms as a bastion of innovation and discovery. This office is your oyster. Feel free to use the gas, water, electricity, PCs, TVs, and showers as often as you'd like. You can use the spare key I gave you yesterday to come and go as you please. I do apologise that there's only one for the two of you though. As for me, I'll be in a sales meeting today, but I'll try and come back as soon as possible. By the way, just because you're alone doesn't mean that you two can get all lovey-dovey. Best, Nautso, CEO of Summer Life Inc. I wonder why he felt the need to sign it off of his CEO job title. Doesn't the name Natso mean Summer Life? Did he name his company after himself? Why don't we head for the cafe for a cup of coffee? Sure thing, my direct deposit just hit, so I've got a little change to spend. Like, that's the best way to try and clear your head for being chased. Get a bit of coffee. Good morning, Anjo? Huh? What is he doing in the back seat? This... whatever. Things have been so wonky, having to process all this data and upload my findings have been a pain in the butt. Anjo? But how can someone... I mean, they're not cows or horses for sure, but it all seems like this is... Anjo! No! You scared me. You scared who? What's going on? You've got your nose buried so deep into your computer you didn't even notice us. Oh, Tokyo Mizunashi, welcome. Sorry about that. I just got my hands on some of the latest occult intel and I got carried away. Occult intel? Oh, what is it? What is it? Anjo showed me an occult news site from his tablet. Twaina.org, which supposedly is one of Japan's biggest user-agitated content sites, naturally is attracted a legion of occult followers. Yo, Mizunashi, you were trying to look up on cattle mutilation yesterday, right? Yes, I was. Why do you ask? I'm not sure if this is a coincidence or just perfect timing, but this happened last night. But you're not going to believe it. Someone discovered a mutilated human body, and it's been causing massive waves online. Also, it happened in Japan of all places. Someone whose eyes and brains had been forcibly removed came tumbling atop a tree. A Cosmo tree. What? You're joking, right? How do you know this is some kind of hoax or something? There's no hoax. It made national headlines. In the occult community, Cosmo trees are often regarded as dimensional vortexes linking the world to others. No way. You gotta be lying. It's true. Haven't you heard? At that spot in particular, there have been numerous reports of UFO sightings. Plenty of folks have taken photos of them right in their seats. Would have rather not known. Well, because of the strange tragedy occurred near a well-known landmark, I think that people are trying to connect the dots. Even so, don't you think it's all inappropriate? I mean, they're really clutching at straws. It sounds like an accident than a conspiracy. But here's the rub, listen to this. The police aren't bothering with an investigation, nor are they releasing any details. They simply ruled it as an accidental suicide. However, someone that just so happened to be in the vicinity took footage of the incident. Whoever it was posted the video in some foreign video called Vimeo. Any chance either of you want to watch it? It's pretty gruesome, so I bet it'll get taken down sooner rather than later. What? I don't know if I can stomach that. Well, obviously, no sane people would want to watch someone plunge to their death, but given that we're currently in a dire situation with everything to lose, we might have to. I'll watch it, begrudgingly. Please put it on. What? You'll watch it? I guess I will too. Okay. So, here it goes. Yay! Look at the Cosmo tree! We're finally in Tokyo! It's too dark, I can't see anything. Look at all the lights! Silly, can you record what's on the top of the tree? It looks like there, the top! Oh, yup, I'm getting on camera. Wow, the lighting is just as gorgeous as they said it would be. Yamato, aren't you glad we came? Huh? What's that? Hey, is that a person up there? What? The sky, look, it's a person. He's falling. What? Ah! Whoa! They just over there. We should call an ambulance. Don't be stupid. He's already dead. There's no way he survived that. Huh? Wait, what's that? Hey, what the hell are you recording for? Are you crazy? You can't get this on footage. But look at the corpse. There's something off about it. Look, his eyes, they're missing. Look, I'll just zoom in. No! First cattle mutilation, now human mutilation. What was that? It was in the middle of the night, so the images are obscured a bit, but the truth is yet to be determined. But it seems a little far-fetched to be a simple suicide if the victim's eyes were gouged out, don't you think? Various news agencies throughout the world have tried reaching out to whoever uploaded the vid, but no one can get a hold of him. He's missing. According to rumours, they're thinking that whoever posted it might not be the same person who captured the footage, because for whatever reason the location the video is posted on appears to be Beijing. That doesn't make any sense. I can't keep up with all of this. What's going on in Japan? No, wait, what's going on with the world right now? Getting to the bottom of whatever's causing these absurd events means recognizing the consequences of the butterfly effect. The butterfly effect? In the past few days alone, crazy events have been occurring left and right without any rhyme or reason. Don't tell me that's what we're looking into somehow connected to these tragedies. Might be, might not be. The reason I bring it up is fate as a way of making things happen in a way we can't explain. For example, take that bullet cap on the floor right there. By picking it up, you could set off a chain reaction that 10 years from now could result in you beating cancer. I mean, let's be honest with ourselves, most people can't grapple with the idea of fate. The world works in mysterious ways. Oh, whoops, sorry, where are my manners? I forgot to serve you. Is coffee alright, you two? Yes, please. Oh man, I'm starting to feel a little sleepy. Hey Andrew, do you mind putting a lot of sugar in my cup? You got it. He returned to the counter and began brewing a fresh pot of coffee. His perspective was a bit far-fetched, but it wasn't the most outlandish thing I'd heard, especially given what we'd seen so far. I could tell Tokyo was at a wit's end though. Anywho, I've heard of dead fish and frogs falling from the sky, but never anything about humans. Ding ding ding! Mention that, bring that up again. Wait, Anjo, what did you just say? What, about dead fish and frogs falling from the sky? Does that pique your interest? Yes, please tell me more. It's a phenomenon known as the skies, raining animals. It's been well documented since way back in the Edo period. skies? Aside from fishes and frogs, they've also recorded instances of things like animal blood and fur raining down. skies, a cryptozoologist term that's been used to describe the strange precipitation of animals and everything in between. It doesn't look like there's ever been a recorded instance of a human falling from the sky prior to this, though. Why'd you ask, though? I was doing some digging in regards to something I found in World's Odyssey, and it mentioned the exact thing you're talking about. I see. I've been trying my best to gather any clues about what it could mean, but there's not much to work with. It's been hard. First cow mutilation, now skies. I'm gonna step out for a moment. Huh, but your coffee's ready. Oh, I'll take it to go. Yikes, it's hard! Corpse, 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 corpse. A beautiful death, pardoned by rot. Time stops and the body is frayed. I hate this poem. There it is. I had a feeling it'd be here. Oh man. skies. It was here that a new truth fragment had been found. Underneath the Cosmo tree, dazzling behind a web of police tape labelled "Do Not Enter." Cracked on the street of a crime scene was a porthole containing a hidden string of letters. Perhaps Andrew was onto something. Perhaps fate was sending us a message. This string of letters. Could someone be trying to reach out to us? Suddenly, I was frightened by a chilling sense that I was being watched. After looking over my shoulder, I gazed towards the sky. Time to leave. I like how if there's ominous music playing, it carries on until you leave the menu. Even if you transition to Sheena and just mess around the menu there, it carries on going. But yeah, no, we actually get to sort of... Oh, wait, we got another cutscene. How's everything going? Whoa, I gave him a random appearance. Man, you just don't know how to keep it down, do you? You should be used to it by now. I can't help it. You're the one who insists on magically appearing with no warning. So, how goes it? Nothing much. I see. Well, I got some news. The further you progress, the worse the kind of bugs you'll encounter will be. Mizunashi, does that include the thing Al was talking about? I would assume so. The root of the corruption has turned Heart's Palace into a vile dungeon filled with the bugs is the Atoma Queen. What kind of monster is capable of spreading this much havoc? The coding blew me away. I don't even remember programming it. I could go the rest of my life without ever seeing anything like that again. Does it scare you? Of course it does! I'm not sure how to express this, but I feel like whatever it is, it's in communion with some other world, something that we should never have come in contact with. There's also a vision I had after that buggy ate that shining crystal. Were those really my memories? I'm sorry, I wish I could tell you more. Don't apologize, I understand where you're coming from. Things are not all doom and gloom right now. There's just a smidge of progress, but I'll take it. Each time you defeat a martyr, the buggy eats the parasite, right? Because of that, the bugs on the map are beginning to clear. Really? Yep, let's keep at it and move forward with our plan to destroy the Atoma and restore order to the world too. If the disappearance of Al's parents can be attributed to the bugs, then maybe we'll be able to save them. You're right, we should push forward. For Al! And now we get some gameplay 12 minutes into. I don't know why I mentioned it. Like, you guys knew what you signed up for if you're watching this. I made it very clear, like, several times at the start. This game is mostly cutscenes. It's got an interesting story. I love the story of it. I do kinda hope they tone it back a bit for the sequel, but we won't really know until a lot closer to the time, because I can imagine even if they do a gameplay trailer and a story trailer, it still won't be a good indicator of how much story over gameplay there is. But at the same time, I'm not complaining too bad. Like, I wanted to show this game off. Like, the only reason I complain about how story focused it is that it gives me less freedom to talk about, and it's a let's play. And it kind of goes hand in hand with a let's play that you talk. Like, I don't mind voicing the characters, but it's not the same as giving my own piece kind of thing. Also, I kind of been neglecting my healing magic, which is why it's at 102% for the upgrade. So, Metek will give us Metinak, which I believe Metinak is, if you're close enough to a teammate, it will heal them as well. So that's real handy to have in Sheena, and if you can get that upgrade to its stronger version, even better. But what's interesting is that there are these two optional areas off to the side where you can lower the water level. And if you lower the water level, it lowers it for the other room as well, allowing you to get to the other side. But on the other side of the room, as of now, there's nothing there. There's a side quest you have to do far, far later in the game that requires you to come back here and do it. But the fact that this door's unlocked and you can just do it now, and so you can have the water level lowered and the other path accessible, and then just run straight to it to complete the end of the side quest on the other side, is kind of interesting. Like, I've lowered the water level in the other room, so now we can go in there, and there is loot down at the bottom of the docking area, I suppose. Like, I don't want to say bottom of the ocean, because it's not. It might be seawater, but it's still a docking space. I don't know. But when you actually go up the stairs to the other side, there's nothing up there but a switch to raise the water level behind you or lower it back down again. Which, when I first saw it, confused the hell out of me, until I realised when you save and quit, it resets this puzzle. So if you, and since there's a side quest there, if you, during that side quest, go over and save, the water level would raise behind you. If they didn't put a switch right there for you to lower it again, it would be a dead game, because you wouldn't be able to lower the water again, and no one can swim. Like, it's kind of interesting in that sense that they did actually thankfully think ahead on that one. As we're continuing to play as Lily, and I said every character has that weird, when we're running we're going to make a little noise to show that we're running, but it's really obnoxious and we do it every 2 seconds. Also, with the Frat Frotz guys thing that was going on in the plot, That's kind of an open question. I don't know how to pronounce that. I just kind of pronounced it how it read. Like, it might be for skis instead. But I just assumed skies. Although since the glitch spots in this area are really strong, and Al is our newest member, I think it was about time we showed off what a glitch form looks like. And it's probably the one I like the least. Like, I've made it clear that I don't really like the glitch form designs full stop, but hers feels the most... I don't know, like for someone, I think it might be more because it rubs me the wrong way that she's only 15 and they've made her look this sexualized, but it's just never sat well with me. It's the same with another character later on that also just really doesn't sit well with me because of how over the top it is. But I think that will always be me. It's the same with Dragonstar Varnir. I absolutely love that game. I made a review for it because I love that game to death. It's so goddamn amazing. But that also has an underaged character that it has a super version that looks slightly too sexualized for its own good. That really rubbed me the wrong way, and it was actually enough to stop me using the character in battle full stop because I didn't want to see it. But I'll get to that if I ever cover Dragonstar. I want to cover Dragonstar Varnir because, like I said, I absolutely love that game, and it was a toss up between Dragonstar and this game of which one to cover. But I wanted to cover this one first because not only do I have more to say about it, because there's a lot about this game I don't like that I want to critique on, but it's also getting a sequel. Well, at least it's the only one of the two that's confirmed to getting a sequel. So I want to talk about it and get it out of the way, so when that sequel comes out, I can eventually cover it as well with no fear of, oh, I need to cover this game first. Because to be honest, if the second game addresses the problems that I think it will, I don't know how often I'll come back to this first game again. Don't get me wrong, this first game's great in its own sense, but I just think, with how many little problems it's got, if a sequel cleans it up, it will kind of destroy the reason to go back to this one. It's the same issue I've got with Mary Skelter. Like, the first game, I love the first game to death, and I think it's... people throw a lot of shit at that game for what I feel is no reason. It's archaic, but it's not glitchy, it's not problematic, it doesn't have bad mechanics, it's just old school. But the second one rearranged and reorganised things to be a lot more modern. And although, yeah, it plays a lot smoother, and yeah, it plays better, I had no issue with the original, but when they made the second one, it came with a remaster of the first game that had the second one with it. So you could play the first game with the second game's mechanics. Which is like, it kind of works in its favour, and it's like, there's a part of me that would kind of hope they'd do the same with Death End Request. Like, if you got DERQ2, it would come with DERQ1, but with the Death End Request 2's mechanics. Yeah, I'm trying to shrink it down, it's not happening, it's too clustered with letters. DERQ, yeah, Dirk. But you get rid of it as a guard bracelet level 2. There's free DLC when you start up the game that gives you a guard bracelet level 5 right from the gate, so some of these early areas don't feel like a challenge because it's a free DLC. You're not gonna not get it. With that being said, I wonder if this is a boss arena. When you're ready, press onwards. There's no death end for this boss, so just worry about dealing with it when you get to it. What was that sound? It sounds like wings buzzing. Maybe a fly whizzed past your ear or something. You can't walk 2 feet around here without hearing flies. Do you not like them, Sheena? I wouldn't say I like that I hate them, but certainly aren't my favourite. Don't worry, I'm not afraid of insects. They buzz our way and I'll just squash them. What about that one? Ah! 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 What is that thing? It's not a fly, no, it's a giant eyeball. That thing is... Ew, it's so gross. Goodness, even the way his rings make my hair stand. Ay. El, why are you so freaked out? Weren't you the one that said you'd squash these insects we come across? That's no insect, it's an eyeball, a crimson ball of gunk, yucky. Mizunashii, that doesn't doesn't resemble what we saw at Hearth's Palace. You think it's still an Atoma Queen? There's no way for us to know for sure, but we can't rule out the possibilities now. Guess we'll just have to defeat it and find out. What's the matter? I was just scanning the source code for the anomalies and I found something big, maybe. Maybe what? If you've clued onto something, maybe you should let the rest of us know. Remember how we observed the buggies eating those parasite crystals after toppling the martyrs? This is just a theory, but if we feed a buggy one of those crystals inside of that Atoma Queen, maybe it will remove the Atoma from this world for good. There's a huge chance that the distorted areas inside the shipyard will return to normal. Really? I'm sure as heck gonna take your word for it. Well, like I said, it's just a theory. There's no guarantee, but it's worth a shot. What? At first, the most pressing issue is dealing with the sheer size of that thing. It's massive. You'll have to keep an eye, no pun intended, for its aerial attacks. Given there's a bunch of eyeballs, it has no blind spots. What? Then how am I supposed to fight it? Be quick on your toes and hit it when it least expects it. The choice is yours. That doesn't help. Either way, I'm here to back you up. Good luck. Ah, it's coming back at us. I think it's gonna hurl. I think I'm gonna hurl. Sheena, the Atomic Queen is bracing itself to attack. Keeping my faith in Mizanashi. No, keeping my faith in everyone. Lily, Owl, lend me your hands. Time for a second fight against an Atomic Queen. And like I said, this one doesn't have a death end, so you're free to just beat its ass down. And this fight's not too bad. It's just, it will happily just swivel on a dime to attack you anyway. And I don't know whether it's to try and go the theme of the eyeball or whether it's just the coding of the game. But if you go behind it to attack it, it really won't make a difference. Just circle it. And be wary of the glitch spots, because some of these glitch spots are brutal in the boss in this arena. But the white ones can boost your physical attack, which is very handy for Owl for her low attack to be able to get more out of it. Also, bosses as a whole always start with their glitch at 100%, so you don't have to worry about knocking them through glitch spots and boosting their percentage to make them stronger. They will always be the strongest they can be.
Come on, let's go.
There's our attack boost. And as you can see on Sheena's command list, it's starting to get quite clustered. And this is what I was getting at last part of where I'm happy to see that in the magazine that covered Death End Request 2, they're organising the command menu to be in separate categories for like physical magic, like defensive magic, healing, favorited skills, things like that. Like they're organising it so it's not as clustered as Sheena's has already become. And I try out using a genre install here to use shooting. There's 6 you can get in the game and you get them through story progression, so don't worry about missing any of them. It's just like there's weird gaps between them. Like there's some parts of the game where they'll give you like 2 of them in relatively close space, but then there'll be like none for like 6 chapters, and it's really confusing how they decide to handle it. But because of that, it does make you sometimes feel like you're missing something and why you haven't got one, and then it just kind of gives you, and you're like, oh. Like there's one that you can't get until you're past the point of no return, which I found like baffling. Like the 6th one you don't unlock until you enter the final chapter. And like slight spoilers, but when you enter later on we're going to get access to quick travel to be able to warp around the map at our leisure. The moment you start the final chapter, you lose that ability. And so it's kind of odd that they then give you your ability after then, in a position where you're not going to want to save on that file because you'll want to go back and do the side stuff after you beat the game. So and I'll bring it up again when we get to it, but you should be leaving a save like before the end of the second to last chapter, which on your first playthrough the easiest way to recognize it is your trophies, because your trophies list every single give you a trophy for beating every single chapter. So when there's 2 trophies left, one for beating the chapter you're on and one for beating the final chapter, make sure you save on a separate file to go explore post game. But if you're not someone who rechecks trophies, don't worry, I'll bring it up again when we get to it. So I will be covering all of the optional content for this game, or at least trying to. I'm not sure about that super boss, because last time I fought the super boss I was way too overpowered for it, so I don't really want to make a joke out of it. But after you've defeated that Atomic Queen, I say it's not too bad. It's very physical based, so if you can string the physical attacks back on it, especially with the physical boosts in the arena around it, the boss should fall apart before too long. It's not too difficult. Oh, look at all the chunks of scattered all over the place. Everywhere I step is some Aigu. Yuck! Al, sometimes those thoughts are better kept to yourself. Oh, but why? Because it's not the most pleasant image to focus on, you know? I'd rather soon forget. Oh, when you put it like that, you're right. I'll be more mindful next time. Ah! It moves just now. Isn't it dead yet? It's okay, Al. The deed is done. It won't fight back. Yo, great job, lady. Seriously. Enigma, where have you been this whole time? About left us out to dry, don't you think? Don't be stupid. I'm not capable of fighting and battling this skin in the same way you are. What do you mean by this skin? Why are you always talking riddles? Oh, I haven't told you yet, huh? Enigma is kind of like a puppet. I'm the one who controls him remotely. Remote? Are you some kind of mage that can conjure and control Enigma from the shadows? Something like that. It's better you just imagine it as me being inside this suit. It doesn't excuse you from putting in the hard work of battle. Al, you see, Mr. Enigma supports us from the back line, then he can help us strategize in real time for a better chance at victory. Really? Yes, really. In fact, I think Sheena's made mention of it before. You show a little more appreciation, you know. Quit while you're ahead, little guy. Hey, look over there. Is that the crystal? Looks like the one we found last time. Which means... And the buggies, fuck off. What's going on? What's going on? Mr. Enigma, the buggy is... Shh, watch closely. If my theory proves correct, once the buggy eats the crystal, then all the bugs in this dungeon will vanish entirely. Which, if all goes to plan, Sheena's memory could also piece together. Bagoo! 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 Hey, wait a minute. Kitcha! Hey, where are you going on? Wait! Lily and Hell's buggies are reacting too. This is just a hypothesized. They feed on the crystals as well, so... Feed... Sheena? Sheena? Sheena! Hey, are you alright? Listen. Not again. It's feeling...
Please. No more. We are all forsaken. Forgive me. It's all my fault. No. This pain is nothing compared to what she's feeling. I must hurry. And wait for me.
Sheena! Where? You hanging in there? Your eyes were open, but you're totally unresponsive. Oh jeez, that's embarrassing. Yikes, I'm even drooling. Who cares? What matters is how are you? Did you enter a lucid state again? Yes, I experienced another strange, visceral dream, but I couldn't really grasp onto any of the details. I knew it. Have any of your memories been restored? It certainly felt familiar, but I can't quite place where or when it came. So the consumption of the crystals by the buggies results not only in the restoration of the larger world, but of your memories too. I wonder how that works. What are you two gabbing about? Sheena, what does he mean about your memories? Well, I believe it's time for us to open up to them about what's been going on with you for the past year. You're right, Al, Lily, there's no reason to say this, but I've suffered the loss of memories of this past year. Huh? What do you mean lost them? Like amnesia? Yeah. What? I'm so sorry to hear this. I had no idea. Here I was nagging you with all these questions. Don't worry about it. I never bothered to mention it, so it's not your fault, Lily. Besides, the lost memories only encompass this past year. Lately, though, they've been glimmers of hope. Honestly, any memory I've had of the real world feels foreign and distant to the experiences I've made here. Though I can't explain any of the reasoning behind it. Whenever my buggy eats one of those crystals, some of my memories are returned. What? What effect does these crystals have on you, Sheena? I have no idea. All I know for sure is that when this little guy scarfs it down, my mind goes blank until a tiny bit of memories come back to me. However, we're still blind to the correlation between your memories and these crystals. Our hypothesis is to be tested on too small of a sample size to draw any meaningful conclusions. Nothing concrete has been established. There's no telling what these bugs are capable of, nor whence they came. You're right, if only we could meet someone knowledgeable about the trouble brewing here. What the hell, Al? You can't just shriek for the hell out of the blue like that. Because no one's putting to explain any of what's going on to me. It's unfair. I deserve to know too. What is there to explain? I just stated that we still don't have enough information. There's no prior evidence of these buggies, or the Atoma Queen, and these crystals to explain what's happening. We're in the dark too. So you call this thing a buggy, right? Yes, Al. Did yours come with those Atoma legs on your body? Yep, I tried swatting it away, but they stuck to me. At first I panicked, but then I realised it helped me fight monsters, so I got over it. It's true, they do serve some utility in battle. It's true, this one has saved my skin more times than I can count. Wait, we don't know for sure if we can trust these things as our allies yet. Don't get too attracted, okay? Not sure if they're our allies, what do you mean? Can't you see? Bugs, or the Atoma as you know them, are a curse, that's a fact. No matter how cute they are look on the outside. For some mysterious reason, you lot can control and manipulate these manifestations of the curse are. However, normally these Atomas latched onto the bodies either turn to madness or are viciously eaten, right? Besides, you might possess control of it now, but there's no telling if or when the buggy could betray you and make you its next meal. Point well made. After all, my father became consumed by the Atoma after all. Sorry about that, Lily. Don't be. There was nothing anyone could have done. Well, with that said, our ultimate goal is to help Sheena regain all of her memories. I appreciate you finally opening up to us about the truth. I was unaware of what kind of predicament the two of you have been in. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to keep it a secret. I feared that as a result, it would have been like I was using you guys for my sake. Not at all. I was the one who requested to accompany you. Yeah, same goes here, Sheena and Lily. I don't know where I'd be without you two. See, don't let any of this bother you, okay? I too am indebted to the aid you give me. We share a common goal in wishing to rid the world of the stain of the Entoma. If you think you're afraid of feeling that you're using us to satisfy some ulterior motive, then it goes both ways. More than anything, I wish to help you on your journey. We've become fast friends after all. Oh, thanks Lily, Al too. In any case, we've left no stone unturned in this shipyard, but there's still no sign of Al's parents, is there? We've looked everywhere that I could think of, but it didn't leave a trace. If they're not here, there's all there is to it. We'll just have to keep our search going. Surprised you're so cheery. Aren't you upset that we couldn't find them? No, as long as we find them. Well, Mizunashi, there's something off with Al, huh? Yeah, I'm not buying it. A normal response to not finding her parents would be more sorrow or grief, but she's experiencing neither. Is it possible that she lacks these emotions? I don't remember programming Al's personality like that. The Alice engine functions on calling upon an entire database of pre-programmed responses to simulate real conversations. This could be a bug. A bug that alters the flow of natural emotions, huh? In any case, I hope we can find Al's parents. They're in the shipyard workers at the same crest on one of Al's pants, right? I'll be sure to remember. Al, if you're in pain, you don't have to hold back. That's right, Al. We're all rooting for you to find your parents soon. What are you guys even talking about? Seriously, I'm fine. They don't call me Al the Adventurer for nothing. With that said, would you let me continue following you guys? Huh? Oh, I guess so. Just promise that you won't act recklessly in times of danger. Got it. Alright, Sheena and Lily and Enigma, I guess. I'm happy to be a part of the team. What do you mean, you guess, you bastard? Be thankful. You might be all cute and fuzzy, but it won't stop me from putting you in your place. Now, right back at you. You seem to really hit it off. You think so? And that being said, we need to backtrack out of this dungeon now to continue, because in the Wildlands where we were, there was an extra stretch off to our right just before we entered the shipyard. And that right would have led to a dead end, but now that dead end has been removed. But as we go to leave, there's yet another cutscene to tire my weary voice. Hello, Enigma, there's something I've been meaning to tell you. What is it? As you know, I've made a name for myself as a merchant, but recently rumours of swindlers posing as peddlers have caught my ear. Given the dire social climate, I suppose it's only natural for people in desperate circumstances to work as bandits to attack helpless travellers. Please be cautious, okay? Mars aren't the only thing you need to be afraid of. Seems like the AI inside of World's Odyssey is evolving. NPCs are adapting to social distribution. Art imitates life after all. Huh? Oh, nothing. I appreciate the warning. You be careful too. What was that? Distributionization? Deconstitution? Screw my dyslexia sometimes. There's a thieves' lance over here that I forgot to get on our travels on the way through, so I come back to make sure to pick it up. Also, by lowering the water level on the side, it lowers the water level in the main room, but I don't understand what purpose it solves. Like, there's nothing down there if you go and explore. There's no items that I could find to justify it being there. It's just kinda there. And yeah, okay, that was a back attack apparently. That's when the screen cracks up, it means it was a back attack, so that means the enemy got the advantage on that one. Yeah, gee, thanks guys. But either way, since the whole of last part and this part were all in one save, I'm rushing back to the only save point we had in this dungeon to call it a part. So next time on Death End Request, we'll continue on our travels towards the forest, being wary of any potential swindlers as we go. And avoiding more enemies. Well, trying to. Hey, but we leveled up, I suppose. But next time, I will see you guys next time. So until then, you guys take care now.